Good day, everyone, and welcome to a Monday. It's very much a Monday show. Hope you guys are having a fantastic time. We are here, and it's honestly kind of a miracle. Apparently our internet's been down all day, and we've managed to cobble together enough to hopefully do a pretty good show. Let me turn this down. Too much. Whoa. Really? How was your day, Fernando?
Fantastic.
Yeah?
Everything's fantastic.
Everything is fantastic?
Yes.
All right, there we go. Trying a new mic. We tried a new mic last week. Nobody complained about it, so we assumed the mic fixed the problem that we had on Friday, which was the slight popping noise. But hey, we're now it's an internet issue. What else is new? Congratulations, Frank. I'm glad you're the first one here. Second, let's see who will be the third. Yeah, exactly. Crazy. Gotta drive to go get the kids from school. I mean, get them bikes, make them walk. I'm joking. We'll hop back later. We'll be here. Hey, what's up? Yeah, take care. Definitely. All right. Hello from Vegas. It's hot. It's too early to be 95 degrees. I would agree with that. That sucks. Wow, that is terrible. Seattle checking in. Hi from Phoenix, Arizona. Evening, gents. Hope everybody had a good weekend. And it's kind of weird with no football. I'm just totally missing out on my football. Oh wait, we have hockey.
Stars.
Yeah, and we got hockey. So I don't watch any of this crap. I really don't. Doesn't even care.
Baseball, man. Baseball.
Could be afternoon. Well, actually, good evening. Yeah. So, what is your order of operation when tuning? Well, that's a fantastic question. Let me do this. Let me pull this around. You know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna save that one. I'm gonna hide that for a second. And we'll answer that as soon as we do. Hey guys, we have this little thing we call the 12-volt clean wire club. Some of you guys are members. Most of you guys are members. And every weekend we go through and, well, this week was easy because we had the 12-volt clean wire challenge at MasterTech Expo. And that means we had a winner. We have 8 guys that compete, and there can be only one Highlander. In this case, it was our good friend Pablo Cruz with his Memphis amp rack and his 1087 from Sounds Good F150 amp rack. He was provided with the Memphis amplifiers they gave him, and then everything else he brought with him. So he brought himself an Amp Pro, brought himself some Memphis crossovers. He has the T-Spec power distribution over there. And then he put some of the Stinger RCAs that we brought with us for him. He put some blue Tech Flex all over it. It looks really nice. And so he took home the gold. So congratulations. Hey, next year. Maybe you too could be somebody that compete. We had 8 great guys this year. I mean, it was fantastic. Everyone did a fantastic job.
All of them.
Next year, Fro's stepping up to the plate. He said he's in. He's going to do it. So Fro's going to compete. Better start training. You got a year to get better, to be amazing. So we're looking forward to it. Chris Vera was there.
It's like zip tines.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I have no idea. That's those that can do host an event. So.
Oh, just walk around.
Yeah.
This guy right here.
Yeah. I give out lollipops and headphones and Bluetooth speakers and 10-millimeter sockets, and it was a good time. It was a good time. Gave away a lot of cool stuff. We had a lot of good vendors. It was really nice. And then Saturday, of course, was open to the public because of the car show. So Swizzle Sticks got to come in. So, yeah.
It's really cool that they actually open to the public.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What is your order of operations?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is before I do that, I want to drop this guy into place. And then we'll turn that on. Now, this first segment is brought to our good folks at Arc Audio. If you're looking for a DSP amplifier, standalone DSP, whatever DSP needs, power needs, they have a 4,000 watt amplifier. Did you know that?
4,000?
Yeah, the X2 4001.
I didn't know that.
I know, it's on my dream list of things that I want to hang on the wall. Anyways, you can head over to arcaudio.com and check it out.
Yep.
Now, order of operation when tuning. Actually, it's kind of funny. So this is a lot of things we talk about. And most DSPs now are set up in a manner in which you're going to tick boxes. Meaning they kind of walk you through the progress. You have input, you have output. So the first thing before you even start on tuning a car is you have to know, what is my input? That is the input mixer, how it's going to be assembled, what it's going to be doing is where you actually start, which is going to start with the sale. So we're assuming the person that sold the product knew what the heck was going on. So now we have to know, are we doing high-level input, where we might have to sum things together? Are we doing low-level input, where we just have RCAs from either a radio or a module of some kind? Or are we doing toslink from a source of digital? Or are you doing digital over coax? So that's the most important thing. So step one is, what is my source? How is it getting into the amplifier? And each one of those is going to be a little different. So if you have anything other than high level, well, you can almost, other than directing the sound where it needs to go, setting up your input mixer, that's your first step, is input mixer. Now, if you're doing high level, then you have to go to the DEQ portion of the DSP, because you have to fix your input signal first. So that can be done several different ways depending on the DSP you're using. If your DSP doesn't have a DEQ, well, then I suggest getting something like a key lock that'll do it for you. And even if your DSP does have it, I still recommend getting a key lock and letting it do it for you, because it's way easier and it does such an amazing job. It's kind of silly not to. Anyways, so once you figure out your input mixer, your input, what's going on there, now you can get to the fun stuff, so to speak. So now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the polarity on all our speakers, because now we should have sound. So we're going to make sure that we have proper polarity. In order to do that, we have to set up our crossover. So input mixer, crossover, get all the crossovers set up on that. I also, while doing the crossovers, will go ahead and add in the time alignment if we're going to do it, because we've already measured all of that. We measured that at the beginning. We put the seat in the position that it was in when it showed up. So we actually measure the seat and make sure that it is exactly the place it was when the car showed up. And while we're doing that, Fernando just measures all the speakers, so I can, as I'm setting up crossovers, I can go in and set up my time delay distances. All right, so now we get to polarity popping, because we have all the safety turn in. Yep. This is important. So we have that going. All right. Once that is done, we have our polarity check. We'll make any corrections we need to at this point, whether it be in the software or we rewire a speaker or whatnot. Okay, because those have to be correct in order to get to the EQ portion of it, which is now what we're going to do. We're going to start EQing the car acoustically. So if we had high level, we did it electronically. We looked at the signal that way, either via the software or using an IRTA2, or we just had a key lock do it. Now we're going to do the acoustic part. We need some form of a microphone, whether it be a JL Max, a software on an iPad using a light USB-C connector, or whatever, some form of a microphone in the car that's going to give us acoustical feedback on a screen that we can see what the heck is going on. So we are going to... we're going to tune it in a manner of, we're going to start from the farthest speaker out. So I typically start with the passenger tweeter, then I do driver's tweeter, then I do passenger mid, then I do driver's mid, then I do passenger mid bass, then I do driver's mid bass. I do those all individually. Then I turn the rears on together and I EQ them all at once. Okay. Now, while I'm doing this, I'll go tweeter, tweeter, tweeters. I'll go mid, mid, mid and tweet, mids and tweet. And then I'll do et cetera, all the way through so that they're all playing at some point in time and I can make sure they're doing exactly what I want. It's really overkill. I know. It's fine. It's how I like to do it. Okay. So once I've done with that, I do the rears. I see what the subwoofer looks like. Most of the time I save the sub for when I'm in the car. And that's where I'm going to go next, is I'm going to go in the car. Now, while I'm EQing, I'm also adjusting level, okay? Because I just want to EQ it. If I need something lower, I'll just use the level and adjust it while I'm at this point. And now I jump into the car, and now I'm going to see how I did. So, which is a whole nother thing. So that's like starting over on another page. Okay, so anyways, that's about it. Does that make sense? Did I forget anything?
Oh, what?
Oh, we also check the balance and fader. So while we're doing polarity check, we also check balance and fader if it's relevant. Sometimes it's just balance left and right. Make sure all the speakers play left. Make sure all the speakers play right. And typically what we'll do that is we'll fade it to the left in the radio, and then we'll go into the software and turn off each speaker individually so that we all know it's playing. And we'll typically turn off each speaker individually while we're doing the polarity test so that we can get just the reading of that speaker. Adjust all levels for smooth output, then do EQ. No, no. I do it all at once. That doesn't even make sense because there again, if you're adjusting a level, so that's this is Jason, which is fine. You can do it your way. I'll do it mine. But no, I don't want to do that because that's where you run into masking frequencies, and a level could be hot because there's a frequency that is, for some reason in that portion of the car, just blowing everything off. So by start adjusting EQ levels as opposed to levels, you're going to find that frequency, and you don't want to remove energy where it doesn't need to be removed. So levels get adjusted differently, and not, there'll be minor level adjustment. So if I have a curve, I will match the curve, and then if it's still, I will bring the level down of the whole, and then I will play it in the car and start adjusting more levels. So did you mention delay? Delay gets done while we're doing crossover. Do you guys know any good tutorials for REW, Rumiku for beginners, asking for a friend, LOL. I believe Andy on Audio Frog U, on the Audio Frog page, has some REW like tutorials as far as like white papers. He's not a big video guy, but if you don't mind reading, I believe he walks you through how to do it because he has a mic and he uses REW to do his stuff. So yeah, check out audiofrog.com. Anyways, moving on. We have the comment. It says, excellent, Dean. That's exactly what I was looking for in the question. Well, good. Oh yeah, no, Bobby called that. Yes, make sure your head unit is set to flat. Good call, Bobby. That has ruined the day. It happens. Typically what we try to do if we're going to keep the factory radio is when we pull the car into the bay, that's when we address the head unit. So we go through, make sure the head unit's working, and we'll go through and set our balance fader, bass, mid, and treble, set those all to 0. That's kind of like when the car comes in. That's one of the things that we try to remember to do. We don't always do it. Yeah, Rawcat does also use REW, so you might be able to find his stuff. Yeah. There are plenty of videos out there with REW. Yeah, I don't like REW, but that's okay. I don't have to. Okay. How you doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah? Sorry I'm late. Got something new on the bench. Oh, I know what that means. That's fantastic. Who doesn't like that? Well, good day, Brad. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. And X2 4001. Isn't it 4001? Yeah, it's the big thing, right? Surfboard's got like 140 amp fuses on the side. It's really cool. They were all realistic this year too. And yes, thank you, Austin. Austin is commenting on the Clean Wire Challenge. That was part of the criteria. So every year we kind of set some boundaries, right? Because you got to have boundaries. Just like he competed on the red team. He was the red team captain in the build-off. Did a fantastic job. Really liked his. You got to set boundaries. You got to set rules and goals. And in this year, we wanted it to be a real-life board that you could put on display in the showroom and be like, here's what we do, or use it as a sales tool. That probably won't happen because most people, they want their equipment taken home. But that was the intent, so that they could then, if they wanted to, build something for the store or whatnot. X2 2500.1. Thank you. Yeah, that's what it is. I thought it's because that's a 4000. That's why. My bad. 2500.1. So good call. Good call. Thank you. REW actually isn't that hard. You don't need to get overwhelmed. You won't be using most for car audio. Very true. Very true. There is a lot in it that you can do. So, but there again, I don't want the software to become such a headache. Like, I just want to tune a car. But either way, there's some really cool things you can do with it, and some people get really carried away. So, but you can also just download. You can buy a USB-C mic, and there's great software from Studio 6 that will allow you to do pretty much everything you need to do to tune a car. So really where REW and all the other ones do shine is when you want to put a background, like save it and ghost it in so you knew what your other tune was when you're matching. Does make that kind of easier. So anyways, good day, Mr. Vera. How are you? Thanks for showing up. Dayton Audio USB-C mic. Yeah, that's a good one. So's the DSP mini mic. You can buy a whole Behringer kit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole Behringer with a preamp and a mic and USB-C. We have a couple of those. Got a lot of that stuff. Never want to be without. What's up, guys? Plan to stop by soon. Get my son's second car done. First was totaled. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, I remember that.
Which car was that?
I don't remember that.
You just said you remember that.
But I remember he told us that the car was
totaled.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, gents. How are you?
What's up, Lino?
Yes, the mini DSP mini. That's the one. Got one of those. Audio Frog. The Audio Frog is really nice too, because again, he has great tutorials on how to use his stuff with REW. So it's fantastic. But you have to read them. So that's it. Sorry. Go ahead. My bad. I clicked it right when you clicked it.
No, just click in the one that you were going to click.
I wasn't. I was just turning one off. I wasn't going to click anything. Good day, gents. Sold my first production style box yesterday. Very happy. Congratulations. It is also nice to have an idea, take it to, fruition, and then sell it if that's the intended purpose. That makes everyone feel good. I'll see you Sunday.
What's up, Bobby?
Have a good day. Hello, guys. Do you recommend a battery isolator between main AGM battery and maybe a small kinetic AGM battery? Yes. And they have some really nice ones now. Apparently, I haven't bought a relay in a while, but okay, so an isolator is different than a relay. They're both accomplishing the same thing in that they are isolating the batteries. It's when they're doing it that actually makes this different. So, for example, hold that thought. This is an isolator right here. This is a true isolator. This is a Stinger isolator. This has really big diodes in it that prohibit. So what you do is you connect your alternator to here, and then you battery 1, battery 2, and then the power comes through this because it's a giant diode, and this is all meant to dissipate heat. And the power then goes off to the two batteries. And if you've ever put an alarm in that needed a diode so that so they don't, like, you have two door pins and you don't want the two door pins to talk to one another, so it says the driver's door is open, passenger door is open. Well, this is the same thing, just on a really big scale. So what happens is the power comes through here, goes off to battery 1 and off to battery 2, and then they cannot come back this way. Okay, that's because the diode is preventing that from happening. So this is a true isolator. The reality is we can't use these anymore because newer cars, they don't like this. But this is an isolator. This is an isolation relay. And what the difference is this is just a giant 2 to 5. This is a 200, but they make this in a 500 amp. And so what happens is you have your power from one battery come in here, and the power from one battery, and it's a relay. So it's an electromagnet. So when you charge the coil, the two batteries connect to one another. When you turn the car off, the two batteries separate, isolating them from each other. Okay? Now, it's isolationism, but now we're getting political. Anyways, so this will isolate one battery from the other when the car is off, but when the car is on, the two batteries will in fact see each other. Whereas with this type of isolator, that is not the case. They will never see each other. They will never know either one of them. It's like, who are you? I don't know. Okay, so this is that. Now, with this, there are some new smart ones that add in an ING3 technology. So PAC makes a piece called an ING3. And basically what it is it is when you start the car and your alternator turns on and starts putting out voltage, it sees that and turns on. When you turn the car off and the alternator is no longer putting out voltage, it sees that, turns it off. The reason why that's extremely cool when in conjunction with the relay, and some of them now have this built in, which is what I would get, is that if you put the key in and you turn it on, okay, the stereo head unit is going to run off the front battery because that's part of the car. The amplifiers in the back are going to run off of the rear battery, okay, because the engine isn't running. And so that's one of those cases where if you're partying at the beach and you're playing your stereo, now eventually the front battery will go dead because it is keeping everything in the car on, but the 150 amps of current that's coming off of the rear battery isn't coming off the front battery. So you have a much better chance of starting up the car and driving away. That's pretty cool. With this standard 200 amp relay, when you put the key in, turn it on, it sees the accessory, makes contact. Both your batteries will die. So if you're going to buy a basic one, I would suggest getting an ING3 or look for the ones that have that built into it. It won't say it has a built-in ING3. I honestly don't even know what they're calling it. Maybe Current Sense could be a good one. But there you go. Wow. I was going to do a video on this, but that was way easier.
What's up, Ken?
Okay.
It's a Honda Accord with a rock for power stuff. Yep. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. How does the ING3 work on an EV? It won't work on an EV. Yeah. No. These are cars that start. Now, yeah, it won't work on an EV. Work on a hybrid, but it won't work on an EV. DSP tuning. What baseline dB do you start with when starting to tune from 20 to 20? -5 or lower so that you can slowly gain up frequencies? That's a fantastic question. And the reality is it's really going to depend on the DSP that you have. Because each DSP has different places where there is gain. You have input gain. You have, like, for example, in an ARC audio piece, there's 4 different gains. Okay, so there's input gain, there's output gain, there's gain when you're in your input mixer. There's another gain, which I have no idea where it is, but it's got a light, so I know to try to keep it off. There's level control. That's probably for level control gain. That's what it is. So there's all kinds of that. Whereas if you look like an audio control, DM810 or one of the D series amplifiers, you have input gain, and then you have negative gain. So like input gain has 0 plus or minus 12 dB. So your best place to start on that is 0. But then when you go to channel gain, it's all the way up and only has negative dB. So you can't get any louder. So sometimes what we'll do on those, because that can be a pain in the butt, is we'll actually we'll move that up, let's say 3 dB or 5 dB, just depends what we're doing. We'll move those down some so that we can have gain there. But there is no right or wrong answer for this. It's just it's going to be different depending on what the equipment you're using is. But most DSPs, as opposed to like outboard amp, you kind of want to do as much of the gain setting in the DSP, keeping the gain on the amplifier as low as possible if you're doing an outboard amplifier, because most DSPs will have some form of a line driver built into it so that you can put a lot of signal into the amplifier and not have to turn the gain up on it. But there again, it's going to depend on the DSP you're using. This is not a Compass. This is a Wrangler, and it's just getting the standard Wrangler crap. Just got my first order from ARC. Looking forward to selling and learning the product. That is fantastic. Hopefully you sold or bought enough so that you can get a trip out to the school and you can have Brian, and Brad now. Brad is an educator. Teach you ways of the force that. Do you have a suggestion for an ultra small amp that includes Bluetooth? Trying to avoid a head unit in my classic car. So, there are some amplifiers that have Bluetooth in them. The one thing you'll find that is annoying is not having a control for the amplifier, having to use your phone for level control and stuff like that. That's where that kind of gets like, oh, this sucks. So, what should you do? Now, if you're just looking for something small and compact and very pretty, but also have a very tiny display that'll give you volume control and like track up and down, both JVC and Kenwood make it in a marine amplifier, and it's only like this big. We've done a bunch of them here, and it's got a little controller, has a little flush panel, so you can put it in a center console. You can hide it, you can do whatever you want, but it'll give you volume control and the ability to turn up and down a subwoofer per se. So it has 4 channels of power as well as an RC output to go to a second amplifier. So like if you want to do a sub, and because of that, they make matching amplifiers. So they have a small sub amplifier and they have another 4 channel. It's a fantastic little kit. It's also waterproof, so you don't have to worry about whether the gasket's on your car up to par. You put whatever you want. It's tiny. That's a good like simple solution to do this. Now, if you want to get a little bit more advanced, then you can get a little crazy. So, for example, Helix makes the match amplifiers, which are very compact. You get very small multi-channel amplifiers, and they have the cards that you can install in them, and then they have the controller, which is the conductor controller, which is basically just a knob. So you can put a knob, and you can use the knob to adjust your volume, turn up and down your subwoofer level control, and do all kinds of things like that. And then you can have a Bluetooth card put into the amplifier to do streaming that way and control it from the knob. Now, you can also do that in the Moscone line with these guys right here. The little guys, the Picos.
AMS?
No, the little Picos. Because of the Picos, you could add a Gladiator, and you could do an AMS into that. And then you can have like an 8-channel DSP amplifier, and they're tiny too. They're only like this big. So, and the knob is the Gladiator's their knob. Their knob is going to give you track up and down features for Bluetooth when doing that. So there's a lot of options depending on how crazy or expensive or how much money you want to spend. So yes, these products do exist. The simplest would be the JVC Kenwood. The more advanced crazy price would be something like that. I have the Kenwood version of that, but the sound quality is poor. I'll check out the Helix. There you go. Or the Moscone. But either one, they'll do the job. They give you the option. It is only like, it's small little amplifiers, so. Hello, gang from New Jersey. When is Dan going to be on the show again? Let's just go with that.
Maybe you can call him for next Saturday.
I have to see what he's doing because he's getting ready for Canada. So
right,
yeah.
Is
it next Saturday or this Saturday?
It's this next Saturday.
Yeah, that's this Saturday. Next Saturday, I won't even be here. This coming up Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes, I have to get on top of that. I'll reach out to him because I do need to find a co-host for Saturday. So
I'm quitting.
Yeah. Audison does have the Beacon. You could also do it with Audison. Thank you. So, like, basically, the big three guys have that. You used to be able to do
just a Bluetooth.
Well, no, but you could. All those things I described, they all have a knob. The only one that doesn't have a knob is Arc Audio. They used to have a cool controller. They don't have a knob.
Really?
And the controller is gone. So
I think that's what Brad has in the.
No. So if you wanted to do it with Arc, there again, it's the small footprint too. Like the Blackbird is tiny for sure. I was thinking smaller though. So like the Helix has the match amps are like ridiculously tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a way to do it in all of them. Spectroid for Android is a great on-the-go RTA for iPhone. Make sure you program it to use the camera mic
for a full spectrum input. That's good to know, man.
Spectroid. Isn't what?
Spectroid for Android.
No, I know, but I feel like we used that one.
No.
No?
No.
Hold on. Let me write that down.
But just take a picture of that.
Yeah.
Because it's just more like...
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yep. This segment right now is brought to you by the fine folks at Audio Control. We talked about their DSP. They still make them, but hey, epicenters. Just get an epicenter. Make everything fantastic.
Okay.
I have installed two different Kenwood stereos, the DAX 800XR and DAX 8000S. Both work great, but I can't
hear the wireless remote to work on either one.
I have the remote receiver plugged in. So, honestly, I have no idea on this. I do believe you have to turn it on in the software. I thought it was something you had to go in and turn on. That's one of those things that we go, why do you need this? I get it. But, like...
It's a drop-down
menus to control everything. But I get it. I honestly don't know. But I could have swore... Have you called tech support yet?
I think that would be the best.
Because I'm pretty sure you have to turn it on in the menu.
That would be weird. Why do you want to turn it on?
Why do you want to use because I don't know. I don't know. Why do we have it anyways? Like look at Brad coming out going, we're working on it. Yeah, we know.
Work faster.
We know. It's okay. Hold on. Morel has a DSP amp now, but
still waiting on a controller.
Yeah, and also they only have so it's an integration product, so it's very neat. They're nichey. We got to get one. We got to show you guys. Museway also as soon as I said that, I knew someone was going to point this out. Museway also has a tiny 4-channel as well as a knob controller. This is good, and their knob is fantastic. Like honestly, their knob, coolest knob because it has a screen on it. We all like lights and screens, so they do have a really, really amazing little guy.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Okay. Do Kenwood direct replacements have gesture control, or is it just the JVC equivalents? It is just the JVC equivalents. That is something JVC has had forever. And no, Kenwood does not get it because they have to differentiate some of the products in the world of Jevekenwood. That's what it's called all over the world. It's just Jevekenwood, JVC Kenwood. At least it's called that in Canada because that looks like a normal name. Jevekenwood.
Canada.
Yeah, they call it Jevekenwood.
I love it.
You know, coming to the ice, Jevekenwood.
Jevekenwood.
Yeah. 2 or 4 channel. I know they make Bluetooth adapters, but I was hoping to keep it all in one and simple. It's for my parents' car. I get it. Like I said, with the new match amplifiers, they have a plug-in that you pull the panel off and you can plug things in. Jeff was talking to me about those at MasterTech. You can plug in whatever you want, and then you just plug in the knob. There's just a knob. You just get the conductor, and all they got to do is turn it up and down. I want more sound. What are you talking about, woman? Be quiet. I'm going to turn on my radio. Yeah, you can do all that.
Yeah. He said that he had the Kenwood?
Yeah. I mean, dude, listen, it's 50. It's radio power. It's 50 watt. Well, it's a little more than radio power.
It's more than that.
Yeah, but I mean, there again, I don't know. I mean, everything we put them in, they get pretty loud. I mean, we just do them in Jeeps and stuff like that.
That's good, though.
But if you didn't like it, then there's other things. There's other things.
It's always other things.
What is the most popular DSP out there at the moment? That is a fantastic question. And it really is one of those things that, depending on how good your AI is, I don't know. So there's a lot of, listen, it really, okay. What phone do you use? Are you an iPhone guy or an Android guy? Depending on who you hang out with, you might be an iPhone guy and everyone uses iPhones as the best thing in the world. And you're that one guy using an Android phone and everyone sucks around you. Or you live in a world where everyone around you uses Android phones. So there's that one guy that uses iPhone and he sucks. DSP software is the same thing. You're in a group of people and they all love Helix. Well, then Helix is the best. If you're in a group of people that all use Arc Audio, then Arc Audio is the best. It really doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter. What matters is, do you know how to use it? So pick a software you like that makes sense to you and go to town. Everyone, like, the input mixer on the Helix to me is, and every time oh, you're crazy. It's so simple. It doesn't make sense to me. It seems overly complicated for no reason other than to just be overly complicated. And there again, I don't want to put the hour into it to just make it like, I get the concept. It just, to me, it seems overly complicated. My guess is Goldhorn or Brax. No, those are the most expensive. The most expensive doesn't mean the most popular. It just means it's the most expensive. Trust me when I say nobody knows what Goldhorn is. Nobody knows what Goldhorn is. Like there was a new product at MasterTech and Knowledge Fest, and everyone was like, what is this stuff? And we have the new one also, the new Russian one, that our good friend Nick Wingate is working on. Do you remember what that's called? Rivian or Ride-In, or I don't know. Which also is a pretty cool software, apparently. That sounds amazing. So, yeah. I mean, let's be honest, the most popular DSP software is probably Alpine. Could be Pioneer. Sony wins the awards every year for having no DSP, so, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Nando.
Totally, my friend. Elvis Crespo, Suavemente with Epicenter. Totally. It's a lot of bass.
It's a lot of bass. So much bass. Let me do this. Okay. Hey fellas. While tuning DSR1, I've had it lock up, cut out on the front channels twice. I take it out and reflash it with iData and the Rockford updater, and it works again. Any ideas? 23 Jeep Gladiator. So, no. Okay. So the real thing would be, are you using an Android or an iPhone or an iDevice, like an iPad or something like that? Because I'm assuming you're using an iPad. It does work best with an iPad, and we have the fewest problems with an iPad. Typically, we never have to reflash it. Like, it just unplug it. If it jams up, it's just plug and go. The other thing too is how long you're tuning for. Because if the car constantly is shutting off and turning on and shutting off and turning on, that can do all kinds of weird things. But no, most of the time we do not have any problems with the units in the Jeep. Like, we have none. Now, there are some issues that Rockford was having with their kits in some of the Jeeps where they have like, back off, where they were having, but they're using different software than what iData is using for recognizing the cars, apparently. So, because they do some auto sensing that iData doesn't do, because they program their stuff to do that stuff. But no, that's not a normal thing. It shouldn't have to be like, it should just be able to be unplugged, plug it back in. The only time you may run into a problem in a Jeep is if it does not have power door locks. That could be a problem. And if it doesn't have power door locks, you might need to call and get a special flash, because we have run into the issue in a regular Wrangler where it doesn't have the power door locks. And so it was causing the unit to lock up. iPhone got tuning. Okay, so yeah, so that's the best thing to do. Does it have power locks? Hopefully it has power locks. There are Jeeps now without locks. It's pretty weird. Resolute. Thank you. That was it. The Russian stuff is the Resolute. Nick loves that stuff. I bought an Audio Dynamics DSP many years ago, and I never even opened it. It's still sitting in a box over there. They've moved it past. I should probably just get rid of the thing. We got a couple DSPs I'd love to just get rid of. Yeah. But anyways, Yes, power locks. Okay, that's good. So the power locks are what tell it to turn on and off. So like that uses the sniffer it uses looks for a lock and unlock. But no, you shouldn't have to unplug it and reflash it. That doesn't even make sense. So, Dean, when you going to be at Disneyland in California? Sometime in April. I have no idea when. It's like we're doing some whirlwind. Like I don't know. Like they bought I think Haley bought the like stupid passes where we're just going to be like going 100 miles an hour because we have like a layover in that area. So they all want to go to Disney. So, but I don't know when. Send them to me. I'll pay shipping. You got it. Still waiting for ARC to make an 8-inch RS for a 3-way setup, and also a BTM Bluetooth module to pair with their DSPs. I mean, it's keep waiting. The 8-inch is a touchy subject. We're still waiting for the AS 6x9 that we were promised.
Just put it on the list.
That's what I'm waiting for. I'm really not. I don't care. But I would love for them to come out with an 8-inch. That would be fantastic. It's also, I would love for them to come out with a 3.5-inch coaxial. But every time I say that, Brad gets a little twitch in his face. And he's like, because he's like, no, it doesn't work. Does Helix DSP come with free Jeffs? No. DSP is only as good as the rest of the set. Yeah, so no, it does not. However, he will charge you. He will graciously charge you. That's what he does. That is one of the Smith Industries. That is his company. One of his many companies is that he actually still drives down here. There's a couple dealers in Florida as well as Georgia that he does all their tuning for him. So and he charges accordingly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's pretty good. Good morning, Eduardo. It is afternoon, but
good afternoon, Eduardo.
So this is funny.
Just wake up.
Yeah, I know, right? So this is funny. By the way, this segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Moscone-America.com. If you are looking for a small compact DSP amplifier, look no further than the Picos. That's right. They have a 1,000-watt amplifier that is this big. And they also have an 8-inch sitting right there. Zeta. Okay, so I'd like to do a SCAR SQ build just to screw with people. Good luck. So, not saying you can't do it. You probably could get, like, you could probably do something that wasn't too terrible. But there are going to be limitations just in the speaker itself. I mean, there's the idea that you can take cheap crap and get it to sound like expensive crap. No, it's never going to happen. I mean, I don't care. I will fight that one. It's not going to happen because if you give everything the same chance to be great, then naturally the more expensive speaker is going to be greater. Now, if you have a really expensive speakers done poorly, well, then yeah, they're going to suck. But if you max out everything across the board, they'll never sound as good as the expensive speakers. Okay, there's just way too much that goes into those that those will never have. Now, that's not to say you couldn't do something for the price, put a DSP on it, and get a good sound out of it. Like, yes, you could totally do that. I don't know if it would impress anybody, but, it's not like it's going to sound like a K2 or an RS or, a Gladen system. It's just going to sound like a SCAR system that you spent a lot of money on.
But I would say it would sound better than the...
No, I don't think so. I still think it'll sound like crap. I mean, listen, we've heard a car that had a ton of DSP work in it with mediocre speakers.
Well, but that's not that's not the equipment.
Yeah, it is.
That's actually
It is the equipment.
The tuner.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's the equipment. Because the tuner is the tuniest tuner there is. And he can't get it to sound better.
Okay.
That's the equipment.
But it sounds better than not having anything.
Your argument doesn't make any sense. Of course it sounds better than not having anything. What I'm saying is you can only get so far with cheap equipment.
Yeah.
And we know this because we've experienced it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. And it was tuned by great tuners.
You cannot compare like Mosconi or things like that.
No. But, yes, you. Okay, there again. What I'm saying is, you can. All
so,
things
for example,
being equal,
do you remember that was one time that this guy won?
I don't care about that.
No, but I care about
that's,
that.
That,
so
no,
it's
because that's not.
Everybody
that's
was
not real
telling
world.
them
but that's it.
The Dayton DSP was crap.
It is crap.
Okay.
It is crap.
And for some reason, he got
but that's not
into that point.
No, but listen,
closer to...
Yeah, that's all BS, though, okay?
Why?
Because it's not real world. It's not real world.
It's a competition, right?
Yeah, but that's not real. It's a competition. It's not real world. You don't want a competition car.
No. I don't want a competition car.
Don't change.
But for some reason, this guy got closer to... some of the best sound quality guys.
No, he didn't.
Not the best sound quality in the category.
He won his category. That there was no dude. You got to beat one other person. Give me a break.
Okay, I beat him, so I'm better than him.
So yay! But okay, so Fernando will always change the parameters to keep the argument going all day long, even though he knows it's BS. This is how our days go. Because listen, if you want to spend the money to build a SCAR system that sounds. It will only get so good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
he
all.
He just want to do it to.
I don't think you will. I don't think you will blow people's brains.
Yeah.
No, this isn't fighting. This is arguing. We're not fighting. This is silly. This doesn't even matter. We're just having fun. Dude, it's an hour-long show.
You can't tune a Honda and expect it to be better than the Ferrari.
I mean, if you're a Honda owner, good luck trying to convince them of that. I'm just saying, because every Honda owner that I've ever met, especially back in the 90s with the Greddy turbos, they beat, dude, I eat Corvettes for breakfast, Mustangs for lunch, and Ferraris. I will say, though, I was in a Ferrari 430, super fast car.
Yeah.
And there was a guy in a ZL1 Corvette. And I've never been so embarrassed to be in a Ferrari in my life. Because that car left us standing still. The Ferrari looked cool, but that Corvette was fast and there was no competition. It was like, go. Bye. He was over the hump before, we're going. I'm looking at Melvin going, dude, are you pushing the gas pedal? And we were flying, and that Corvette left us. Go, Corvette, go.
Totally.
Yeah. I would say build a Dayton audio SQ system instead. Now, that would make more sense. Throw the DSP out, use some of the Dayton speakers, because they make some really nice speakers. I think you'd have a better case. That would be cool. Because, there he is. Like an old married couple. You've been here enough. You know how it goes.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
That's totally.
Yeah. So, anyways, 2024 Ford F450 BO sound. What is the process with installing the iData module to go Toslink out to an ARC 808 DSP? When you're programming the unit, you just have to make sure you program it for two-channel audio so that it knows to put all of the beeps through front, left, and right output, and then plug in the Toslink cable. Then, in your ARC Audio 808, you have to go to your input mixer, and you need to go all the way to the bottom and turn on those two channels and direct them all the way across for all your output channels. So that's really it. It's setting up the input mixer on the 808 correctly. Why aren't more big brand radio implementing digital out coax or Toslink? The join and white box units are tempting. The 2026 model specs are looking really good right now. That's one of those things where you go, paper looks cool, right? Look, I have no idea. I don't have an answer for this. We finally got it on the Kenwoods. So the high-end Kenwoods, the 2-3 high-end Kenwoods have it, which is fantastic. Is it going to trickle down? Probably not. I mean, at this point. And their implementation on it isn't fantastic because it turns off all of the EQ inside of the radio, which it's like, that's silly. Stinger has it in their radios. This has a Stinger 12-inch in it. It has Toslink output. They have it in the high 10. The Horizons all have it. This Horizon 12, Horizon 10 all have Toslink. Is it the bee's knees, the cat's meow, the most coolest thing in the world? No. The other thing, too, is, okay, so I think a lot of equipment has had Toslink on it for a very long time, like DSPs and stuff. And they've never done anything with it. They just put it on the box. So it was a line item. Like, I have this. And because they knew there was nothing that was going to plug into it. So some of the Toslinks on some of these products sucks really bad. Like, really bad. Like, you plug into it, you get no audio out of it. You're like, is there a gain on here or something? No, it's just what it is. That sucks. So I just don't think it's, I don't think we're where we need to be on that yet to be like, this is amazing, because it's not. Most equipment, Toslink sucks, and you don't, it's like, you don't get the volume out of it that you would if you just ran the RCAs. I like using it in certain applications, like in a Ford. Coming out of an Amp Pro works great because it eliminates any of the noise that you're going to get, depending on what module you're using. But what you're losing from it is, directional sensors and the ability to use the volume, subwoofer volume control. So there are some disadvantages to it. I just don't think we're where we need to be on that technology yet. And honestly, it's antiquated as hell too. So it's still not a good answer to finding something better, which is we will never do. But no, as far as why head unit manufacturers don't do it, they're lazy, and it's all spreadsheet radios now. So they just want to find the cheapest way to build radios, and the cheap guys, they don't care. They're just ticking boxes. What y'all think of the new Fosgate P3 V2 speakers, 2019 Silverado? Looking at the P3 6x9 2 3/4 coax, have a 104 amp, trying to use factory locations and get decent sound and volume. Yes, it's fantastic. Totally would do it. But it's 2019 Silverado. One thing you may want to think about is go for the 3-way set instead of the 2-way set. The tweeter for the, I get it, you want to put 100 watts in each one. It'll be fine. You'll need a DSP. However, if you get the 3-way set with the 2.5, the tweeter is tiny, and you more than likely could surface mount it into your A-pillars, and then you have a 3-way set. Just saying. Might be worth it. Hey guys, is it true that when you buy when you buy speakers, it is better to buy an amplifier of the same brand of speakers rather than another brand? For example, if you get Morel speakers, you should get Morel amplifier. No. That's no. No. It's no. It's not true. There's certain situations where this is a viable option. So, for example, in this Jeep right here, it has a Stinger Horizon 12 in it. It has a Kenwood Marine amplifier that we build up into the kick. It has all Kenwood speakers. Just happened that way. However, that amp fits in that corner really well, so we're going to use that amplifier. If you wanted to go Rockford speakers, Focal, Morel, I don't care. Power is power. I just need power. So it doesn't matter. Now, there are people out there that are picky and they have the OCD, or they have high threshold for like, this is driving me crazy. And those guys will do that. But like Moscone, okay, these guys right here, most popular speaker to pair up with is Focal, because it's the, Orca is the Focal Moscone dealer. So a lot of guys will buy Moscone and then put Focal drivers on them. Like we use Morel, we put ARC audio amplifiers on. It doesn't matter. You just want the best amplifier you can get, and whatever you like for sound quality, you buy that speaker brand and you turn it up and you have fun. So, but no, it is not true at all. 09 Silverado. I'm going to do a full Sony ES build 8-channel and 1 or 2 monos with the features of the Sony ES radio. Would a DSP still be needed? The simple answer is yes, because you're going to be doing a really big system and you're going to have 8 channels of everything. However, there's also a world where I can say, no, it's not. Because the amplifiers do have such control, you're going to get all the crossover that you need. You're going to get all the level control that you need. The EQ in the radio is pretty solid. So if you were going to buy a DSP and you were going to do global adjustment, then you'd be fine, right? Because the ES has that. It's not 30 bands, it's like 13 or 15 or something like that, but it's still a solid pull. So there is a world where it will work fine and you'll probably be happy. And definitely the frustration of having to learn DSP, if you've never done it before, there isn't one because you just use the radio and get better or worse, better or worse. So I think this is one of those things where I would just do it and see where the cards fall. If you can't get it to do what you want, then you need a DSP. Question, cool people. What do you guys know about lithium batteries to replace underhood of a car with stock alternator? Are they worth it? So I have no comment on lithium batteries of any kind. It's there again. Lithium is a touchy subject for a lot of people. You have cheap lithium, you have good lithium. I feel we've all seen cars that have caught on fire with lithium. I don't know. I'm just not comfortable with the stuff yet, so I got nothing. I have a Helix CI3 in my door of my 2012 BMW 750. Will I get more vocals if I switch to the Hertz CX100 with higher dB sensitivity, even though the RMS is only 40 watts, which is less than this? No, you won't. No, it'll just sound maybe a little different, not enough to actually make you go, holy crap. Really what you'd be better off is power and equalization, more so than swapping speakers. You're not actually solving the problem there, because that's a very good speaker, and the efficiency of the speaker is not enough difference to where you're going to be like, holy crap, I just put those and those sound great. You'll be disappointed. I would look into power or DSP and see what that gets you more so than anything. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick because this kind of ties in. So I heard a full ES setup this past weekend. It wasn't all that impressive using a full DSP feature from the 9000 ES. I still say get a DSP. I'm an owner of a 9500 ES. If that changes anything for you. Like I said yes first. I feel the DSP is always what you need. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have the 9500 in your car.
Yeah.
It's limited on what you can do compared to a DSP.
Oh, no, it's going to get you there. But, yeah, like you say, a DSP is always going to be more
There's
flexibility.
So much more
100%. Yes.
Yeah, but please never put lithium batteries under the hood. It's way too hot to be safe. There you go. So I have no idea. I don't want to comment on any of that because that's so far out of my wheelhouse. I like the newer Fosgate stuff. Tweeter is not as bright as they used to be. Sound really good. I agree 100%. They did a fantastic job on them. I mean, it only took them 20 years, so you'd think they'd get it right. It is a much more subdued and not so like speaker. So, yeah. Okay, good question. What DSP would you recommend to pair with the Sony ES? I know any DSP will work, but what would you recommend for beginners? So the reality is there's no good DSP for beginners. There's just basic DSPs and everything else. And everyone's going to argue, what's a beginner? What is basic? I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. I will say, you're going to need, if you're planning on doing an 8 and you're adding 2 monos, you're going to need a 12-channel DSP, okay, or at least a 10-channel DSP. So you're going to need like an 8 to 10 or an 8 to 12. Probably go for the 8 to 12 just so you have room. Arc Audio has an 8 to 12. Moscone has an 8 to 12. Helix has an 8 to 12. Those are going to be your 3 flagship 8 to 12s, okay? The DM810 is an 8 to 10. Now, the DM software is good enough for what you're trying to do. That's the audio control because you don't need de-equalization, all those, and it is a fairly easy-to-use DSP software. So there is that. And then there's all the stuff that uses Chinese stuff. There's a lot of those. And there again, that's also very easy to use software, but it's nowhere near what the other three big names are. So I think if you're really serious about this and you want to, which it sounds like you are, because you're going to buy ES stuff, which is not cheap, I would go for the better EQ DSP to complement the good equipment that you have. So, because that's going to matter the most. So, and then there we go. It says, if you run ARC and learn it, you won't look back. It's like Brad logged into a different account. And then we have that. That's what that means, I'm assuming. That. Okay. Guy says. Holy crap. Dude, once this show took off, it took off. And I love the little debate we had there in the middle. That was fantastic. I don't remember. Yeah, exactly. I don't remember what it's about. What are we talking about?
Debate of what?
The SCAR system.
Oh, you should. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, I would put it in my car.
No. Dean, or does Alpine make DSP with tons of channels? Yes, they do. They have a big DSP. Alpine does have it, and ironically enough, they use the easy Chinese software that everybody else uses. So, but they do make a big DSP, and they do make a big DSP amplifier. They went DSP, and then they also make the easy DSP that uses your phone, but I think it's only like 6 to 8, so you need something bigger than that. So they do make a bigger one still. But I would just go with one of the other three if it were me. We'd like to thank our good friends at Audio Control, Arc Audio, Full Cal, Moscone, Gladen for sponsoring the show, making it happen. We'd like to thank you guys, the viewers. Now, since you're still here tomorrow, next Monday, the show will not be Monday. The show is going to be on Tuesday. We're going to be doing the show on Tuesday next week because Monday we have a kicker training to go to with our good friend John Myers. And like we've already been told, we can't miss it. So we're going to do the show on Tuesday night instead of Monday night. So next Tuesday will be the live show to answer the Q&A. We want to make sure we get that show in because on Saturday I won't be here. I'll be gone. That'll be my last day. So we want to make sure we get the show in. We'll be here Friday for the news. Both Fridays, news, no big deal. And this Saturday we'll still be doing the show. But Monday we're going to move from Monday to Tuesday. That's all that's going to change for right now. We hope you guys have a fantastic week. Make sure to tune in to Instagram where you can find all the cool things. We'd like to thank all of you guys for tuning in and asking fantastic questions tonight. You guys asked great questions. We loved it. Mermaids. It's all about the mermaids. Somebody won't get that. It's okay. Thank you guys again for tuning in and asking us fantastic questions. You guys were great tonight. High fives all the way around.
Bye, guys.
You guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you later. Bye.